You wouldn't want to come down here in the winter. I'm not sure if I want to come down here at all. This is the Jolly Sailor pub, where part of Howard's Way was filmed. Gosh, I'm out of breath. So I've been down one staircase, eaten in the pub, come back up, and now I'm going back down to see if I can get to the harbour. So, and also something else, which if I find it, I'll show you. This is quite treacherous. You wouldn't want to come down here in the winter. I'm not sure if I want to come down here at all. How did this get here? I mean, who put that there? Who was determined enough? Oh, this is a bit narrow now. The things I do for my art. But that is the Mermaid Boat Yard. They foolishly called it the Elephant Boat Yard, which is actually, I think, what it's really called. It is, I know it is. But that was the site of the filming. It's a nice spot, actually. Ooh, nice spot. And I do have to say, how cool would it be to live there? That would be so, so cool. But yeah, pretty good stuff. I've got to walk back up there now. Jolly good fun. Back to the car. As you can probably tell, I didn't bring Elvis for this journey, and when you look at how narrow the road is, it's not very wide. I brought the wrong glasses. I'm gonna have to turn around, and I'm gonna head on to the next bit. So as adventures go, this is a weird one. I'm in a car park at John Lewis, which I've apparently got to pay for. I'm staying in a hotel tonight and realised that although they have a swimming pool, I didn't bring my trunks. So I'm now going to go into John Lewis and try and find some. And because nothing I ever do goes smoothly, I was going for John Lewis, but it would seem that I am at not John Lewis. Never mind. I'm sure that they sell swimming shorts nonetheless. They do men's stuff. I've absolutely no idea where I'm going. So having found Marks and Spencer by accident, I've actually now found John Lewis. It is over here. Completely the wrong end. Oh, never mind. Fortunately, the day is saved. I've got some. So, unexpected shopping trip, but I couldn't go to the swimming pool without any shorts. People would look, and not in a good way. So I just need to find the car now. And fortunately, I found it. There it is. So, for an adventure trip, this is quite a weird one. I don't think I've ever been shopping on an adventure in my life. But, yes, needs must. Plug this back in. I'm trying to get back on the road. Right. Ugh. I forgot my glasses, the other ones. So, I've arrived, and this is a car park. It's a fiddly one. You have to remember to pay on exit. So they scanned your license plate, and the barrier's open, so you can drive away and forget to pay and get fined. I have to be so careful that I don't. So I'm going to have to put something on the steering wheel to physically remind me. I really wish I brought the decent glasses. Or the other glasses. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put the roof up. I'm going to go and investigate in the hotel. Because check-in is 3 o'clock. It's 1:30. So I don't know whether they'll let me check in early or not. I'll just go and investigate, and I'll come back and let you know. I've stayed at hotels throughout the country. In Wales, in Scotland, never Ireland. There are so many things I could say about this hotel and to express whether I'm disappointed with what I've received or not. I'll let you be the judge. So I haven't looked in the bathroom yet. I would say this was okay. This was tasteful. You know, this is all right. There's some nice fluffy towels there. Blue glass. It didn't ping, which was a shame. Yes, all very nice, tasteful. The bed is larger than the side of a small mountain, if I'm perfectly honest. I will just bypass the TV and go straight to the complimentary gin upon arrival. Should I wish for ice, simply phone down for it. This window could be a little tiny bit tricky, because if I just open it, fortunately they provided this little ledge here. I would say that this was a nice view. And now, feeling very smug and very pleased with myself, I might need to get some ice for that complimentary gin. And I'll catch up with you in a moment. Oh, and by the way, just to let you know, they did allow me to check in early. But you probably worked that out. That's just the colour of my bag. Apparently all I need now is the car to go with it. Well, this is quite a find, I'll be honest and say. I was really looking forward to... Yep, I know, they've changed colour, haven't they? I was really looking forward to just having some time away, but also, more importantly, some real thinking time. Although, yes, I was a great fan of Howard's Way, and I'd like to be a couple of the characters, but who wouldn't? I like being myself as well. This is absolutely magical, this really is. And I know whenever I have a really good day and I come somewhere that absolutely encapsulates all I'm trying to say, my thoughts, my feelings, everything. When I do that, it's just the best day ever, and I'm so excited. And you know, it is really, really good to be not only alive, but doing the things that I wanted to set out to do. I mean, there is, I do have to say that amongst all the comments, that there is a certain point that you've got to get to. Somebody did make, a couple of years ago actually, a very interesting comment when I first had Elvis. And the comment was very roughly, well, yeah, it's great what you're doing, but you had to have the resources to buy Elvis. And that is sort of the point that I think I got to, really. It's what is enough? What is enough work? What is enough time and effort? I suppose what I'm trying to say, it's a bit like a set of scales. You have to do just enough to get your life balanced, and then you've got to keep that balance there. If ever there was a way to convince myself not to buy another boat, this is not it. Yes, I have been deliberating another boat, and I know all the comments in the world. Boat stands for bring out another 1,000, and it does. But looking at some of these, I mean, they're gorgeous, and sailboats generally are less than sort of their equivalent cabin cruiser or canal boat, mainly because they're designed for sailing. I think I will probably do quite a few revelations and bits to camera and thoughts and what have you a little tiny bit later, but I'm just having a look round at the moment, and my balcony is up there somewhere. Hang on, where are we? There we are. It's up there somewhere. So yes, plenty of opportunity to sit on the balcony a little tiny bit later and do some reflections on life. But catamaran. Noah had a Lego catamaran, and this was when we had the lodge, so a while ago, and it didn't quite look like this one. So I think I've walked into the housing estate part. I'm going to wander back the other way. Right, okay, so that's the hotel, and that's the garden that I was just trying to get to. This sort of, I can't really see where there. That's the garden that was closed off, and I realised I had to go through the hotel, which I could have done had I gone through the other door. It's going to be a day for that, isn't it? I think I found a new happy place. It took me, I want to say, about 2 hours to get down here. It's actually closer than Swanage and Studland. It's really, really nice, and the hotel where I'm staying has a spa, members club spa. So I have the opportunity to sign up to the spa here. I could come down once a week, couldn't I? I'm going to go have a swim in it first, because obviously if it's not all that, then I probably wouldn't pay money to stay on a regular basis. But I could come down here, I could work down here, I could make some video. I've just literally once a week, I could come down for the day. I could come quite early in the morning, and I could stay occasionally. Couldn't afford to stay all the time, but I could come down, and I could come down for the day, and I could work. I could do some of my new mortgage and finance business project, I could certainly make videos, and as I've always said about the clinic, I love the clinic. I can work wherever I am. And on a non-clinic day, we've now got a very fancy switchboard. So I don't even have to carry the phone. It's all admin only. And that does mean that 3 days a week, I could come down here for one, couldn't I? This is very nice. Well, what a lovely afternoon it's been. Lovely day, in fact. Very peaceful, very nice. And don't worry, the video is far from over. I've had a little wander around the harbour, well, around the one side of the harbour anyway. Explored the room. Jolly sailor this morning. If I'm honest, I was a little tiny bit saddened. Disappointed is the wrong word, because I really liked the Jolly Sailor, and I'm going again. The Mermaid Boat Yard, well, the Elephant Boat Yard, well, it was just a boat yard really, wasn't it? The thing is, I liked the Howard's Way series, but I liked it recently. I didn't like it when I was a child. I remember Mum used to do the ironing on a Sunday evening when Howard's Way was on, and it, you know, I was a young boy, and it was, oh gosh, when's this rubbish gonna finish? But in recent years, I've really grown to like it. I like the sort of the parallels of life. I suppose more than anything that all the characters within Howard's Way, they all had their stories, they had their backgrounds. They were all striving for something. Nobody was sat on their laurels not doing anything with their lives. Everybody was trying to create something, whether it was a fashion house or a boatyard or a new boat or a new business venture or an expansion. Everybody was striving. I've always said that whenever you step on board a boat, you almost step away, even whether it's a canal or a river or the sea. You step away from this world and step into another one. And I think it's just the fact that on land, we're so used to using walking, bicycles, cars, all that sort of stuff, buses, trains. But when you go on a boat, there's almost something that says you could literally go absolutely anywhere in the world. You could head off and the world is your oyster. Boats for sale. Having just glanced in that window, there was one that I could just about afford. But most of them were in the 1.5 million range. And that is slightly more than I could afford. Okay, it's a lot more than I could afford, but we won't go ahead and spoil that. So I might possibly have to rethink my plan of buying a little boat and mooring it down here. Because at 1.5 million, that is about 1.49 more than I've got to spend on a boat, just somewhere to come, one day a week, somewhere to sleep. But this is magical. This is lovely. I could come here again. and I think I will. So that's what I'd like, and that's more my price range, as in the jet skis. This is... I know I'm not going to wipe the smile off my face. This is so lovely. I remember saying on my Hayling Island trip, and I just remember the first Hayling Island trip I did, and I had had a very, very long week, and I'd gone down to Hayling Island, and I was, very early on in the Daily Pilgrim journey, and I just remember thinking, oh, this is magical, and I said, I'm going to come here again. And I said, I've decided this is, and I stumbled to words, I said, this is just wonderful or marvellous or whatever it was I said. This is a similar feeling. This is my new second home. I think I have found a new inspiration. Oh, this is pretty cool, I'll be honest. Oh, I'm loving this. A typical Daily Pilgrim thing has happened. I was recording for, I would say, about 20 minutes. Possibly the most emotional confessions and sharings that I've ever made. I didn't press the record button. So, just going down to the spa, dressed in my finery, and my slippers as well. Look. I'll be honest, I don't usually leave my hotel room wearing this sort of thing, but the spa is within the hotel, and I just thought it was easier. Also, it is now, I've got my watch on, it is 7:30. 7:30. So I'm going to go down, have a spa for an hour, and I am going back out. Well, that's the plan anyway. Right, spa, and then we'll do a bit more. Okay, I have done the spa. And it was quite a small spa, if I'm honest. It was nonetheless lovely. Nice and cooling. Took the heat out, and I mean, even the sauna and the steam room. But the pool was lovely and cool. Nice cold shower afterwards, and I'm really looking forward to this evening because the video. Far from over. Usually when I get to this time of the evening I go, right, well that's it, thanks for watching, and off we go. Not today. I'm actually planning to stay awake as long as I possibly can and get up as early as I possibly can. I want to make the most out of this trip. I'm really enjoying it. It's absolutely fantastic. So I'm going to get dressed because you don't want to see. Well, maybe you do, but I'm not going to. What's below this level here, or not, as the case may be. But I'm going to sit and watch the boats for a little tiny bit, and then I'm going to go back out. That is my plan. Just go and check the car. I'm sure it'll be fine, but for some bizarre reason, the car park's in two halves. Ah, there we are, look. There it is. It is now 10:30 at night, way past my normal bedtime, but I decided I can sleep at home. The purpose of coming away was to try and get us, oh, I thought it was a bat. It was a seagull. The wrong shape and indeed the wrong colour. Okay, so I don't actually think there's much down here, to be fair. Some sort of business village, perhaps? Who knows? Let's get back to the hotel. It's a beautiful, warm evening. And actually, I don't know how well this is going to come out on camera, but looking on the screen, it almost looks as if I'm in front of a green screen or an AI image. It all looks very, sort of Disney perfect colours. And the colours that are on the screen, the blueness sort of there, is actually black here. It's obviously tricks of the light on the camera, which I think is quite funny actually. But yeah, it is a, well, that's nice, let's have a look at that. It is certainly a lovely place. I'm definitely going to be coming back. The only question really is when, and how often, and all those sorts of things. What's my justification next time? Obviously, I came to do a YouTube video this time. I'm not sure how well I can argue that case again. Absolutely gorgeous. The lights, the boats on the relatively cool, still water. Absolutely incredible. Let's have a look. This is very good. So this is actually a cinema, and ooh, stack of DVDs. You don't see that in very many cinemas. So yeah, I think it's like a small sort of specialist cinema or local one. It looks really nice actually. But for this evening, whoops, there's a drop there. But for this evening, I didn't fancy going and shutting myself in a cinema. It's too nice to be out there out wandering, even at 10:30. Right. Coming to the end of a lovely day. I'm having one last Coke. I couldn't get one while I was out, and I came back to the hotel. The downstairs bar was actually closed, so I came upstairs and went up to the top floor bar, and it's got a bit of a nightclub vibe. Not my sort of scene. That's nice. A lovely, lovely place. I may have mentioned that before. Well, time is now 4:30 in the morning. As is always the case, I always wake up early. But an absolutely gorgeous morning to share that. I'm still tired. have a bit more sleep, but that is pretty good. I'll see you in a couple of hours. Right, well it's 5:15 now. I can sit on the balcony. That's nice. That's how's that for you. Right, just going out for a walk. I realised that my microphone disconnected at some point. I'm really hoping that the footage I did yesterday, I haven't lost any, because that would be quite sad. Right, let's go and have a walk. Very different feel in the morning, I've discovered. And I put my glasses on, they're going to change in a second, aren't they? It's quiet and peaceful. Sound of seagulls. It's a lovely peaceful place to stroll in the morning. And I've been thinking about this more and more actually. Why I came on this particular trip. I think again, as most of my videos do, it comes back to living the best life, but more importantly, creating that best life. It's not going to fall in your lap. You've got to go out and you've got to make it happen. And I suppose that's the biggest thing for me, because when I started my daily pilgrim journey, I was trying to work out who I was and what I wanted to do. Now it's more about reaffirming who I am and whether I'm still doing what I want to do, because that is the thing that, as time goes on, I think anyway. I mean, some people would say that this is about, well, you're never going to be happy and you'll always want more. I don't think it's that. I think you get to a place, time and space, time of your life, location where you are, the job that you're doing, and the things that you used to dream of are now the things that you're doing. But it was the dreaming, it was the goal setting, it was the planning, the yearning, the searching. That was a massive part of the journey. That was helping us to grow. What I think anyway. And so it isn't about being dissatisfied with your lot. It isn't about wanting something, getting it, and oh, you're never happy, are you? I think it's the human condition that we want to strive, we want to develop, we want to grow. I'll be honest, part of me doesn't want to go home today, but part of me does. The part of me that doesn't want to go home is the bit that wants to come and do it all over again. The part of me that is actually quite eager now to get home is, having done some reflection, having had 24 hours of deep thought, I'm sort of quite keen to get going with the next bit. But yeah, as the sun comes up, it actually reminds me of something else. When I was growing up, we used to go to Swanage, which I know I have mentioned. I've got this memory, I couldn't say how old I was, but it would have been 7, 8, 9, something like that, maybe 10. Honestly, couldn't say exactly. And I remember waking up. My parents had the master bedroom, and there were 2 bunk beds in the master bedroom. It was a 2-bed flat that we used to rent at Quayside Court. And the bunk beds overlooked the glass doors that went onto the balcony that was right by the sea. And although this is obviously a harbour, not the seafront, it's a similar thing, because I'm just trying to work out, it's the other side that my hotel room is in. But as I woke up this morning and I looked out, and I deliberately left the curtains open last night, I was able to look out and see the boats as I woke up, well, as I went to sleep last night. And that for me was it was a bit of a memory, going back all those years ago to Swanage, and they were such happy holidays, they really were. So maybe try and take a bit of the past, the bit of nostalgia, and sort of weave it somehow with this present time, and wrap that up with the plans for the future, whatever they may be. If I'm honest, there's something about the morning when you go home. When you first arrive on your little trip, whether it's a day or a couple of days or a week, whatever it is, when you first arrive, there's all the excitement, isn't there? The excitement of what's going to happen, what we're going to do, what we're going to see, and you've got all of it to look forward to. And as you go closer and closer to the end, it becomes more about the memories. I suppose, like life in that way, the further we go through it, the more we look at the happy memories, because the less time we've got to make the new ones. But I think it's important. I think it's so important to keep making new memories, and to keep doing things. I get alerts most days, either from Facebook or Google, and it says, 3 years ago, 4 years ago, this is what you were doing. Look back on this memory, whatever it was. And, you sort of get all warm and fuzzy, and you sort of think, oh yes, I was doing this, I was doing that. But those memories, I think they have to shape the future. I think they've shaped the people that we are now. And the person that we are now is what's making the decisions about how we move forward. I don't know if that makes sense. So I think be very mindful of the past, whether it's good or bad. But not just be mindful. Look with nostalgia, look with some happiness. If there were some not so good times, that's okay. You learn from those, don't you? But yeah, keep moving forward. Right, that brings me to the end of this little video. Well, I hope you enjoyed it. I've certainly had a fantastic time. I'm certainly going to come here to the Ocean Village in Southampton again. But as ever, thanks for watching, and I'll see you on the next one. Bye for now.